I was wandering aimlessly through Tears of the Kingdom the other day when I was struck by a moment of serendipity. This really is a beautiful game. But the particular quality of the light, the color of the trees, it got me thinking, why yellow? In the gameplay demonstration before Tears of the Kingdom's release, Aonuma made mention that you won't see many of those yellow trees on the surface. That too is pretty curious, because nothing much else is said about these trees, although you do find them scattered about Akala. If you are a scientist at the Hateno Village Research Lab, you might be inclined to say the trees are experiencing nutrient deficiency from increased altitudes, causing the trees to become chlorotic or turn yellow. If you are a member of the Zonai, you'd be confused, because none of the trees are yellow in your time, as far as we know. But I think the answer lies in the time of year we're going through here now in the mid-northern hemisphere, when the leaves are changing to a similarly bright yellow. Consider this. Autumn is a time of contradiction. It is a time of harvest and abundance, but also a time of decay, decline, and death. It is a time of year when leaves change to this curious yellow, and the angle of the sun is lowering, reminiscent of the golden hour, the time of day just after sunrise or just before sunset. Like autumn, this time of day is also transitional, but this transition is between light and shadow, evoking feelings of nostalgia. The Sky Islands are also full of contradictions. Home to a once advanced civilization from the surface of Hyrule, now skyward and dilapidated. Even from a gameplay perspective, they're contradictory. Chock full of potential, but in actuality, barren. That golden hour nostalgia I mentioned earlier is ripe here on the Sky Islands. And I think this is intentional. We're supposed to be reminded of a time long past, of better days when Hyrule was in its prime, before the calamity and the resurrection of Ganondorf. A once technologically sophisticated Hyrule, now faded from a wealth of green to a fleeting yellow. Fitting that this area of the sky, locked in time, shares a color with Zelda's Secret Stone, with her time power in general. When we make our way into the clouds and pull the Master Sword, we find the world covered in a golden, antique sepia tone, framing a moment we're meant to stop and remember. Similar to the gold wrapped around Link's arm, making him both Hylian and Zonai. More contradiction. So I return here to this little slice of Sky Island, watching the sunrise, bathed in golden light. The yellow tones of the Sky Islands are meant to evoke a time long past, now locked in this yellow amber. They're meant to represent a transitional period between light and shadow, between past and present, of the Hyrule that once was and the Hyrule that is, of destruction and decay, and, contradictorily, when the yellow petals fall, of rebirth.